Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat mga kaibigan. Nais namin kayong i-welcome muli sa isa na namang episode ng ating The BMA Chronicles Late Night with Benny Abante. Season 3 na po tayo. At ngayong gabi po, nakakasama natin muli si Manong Arnold. Si Manong Arnold po ay co-host natin dito. Hindi namin kasama si Kuya Joey. Tinakasan na naman siya. Tinakasan na naman. Nag-Thailand. Bira. Mukhang may balak pa yatang kumuha ng ladyboy. Anyway, mga kaibigan, batayin mga ating madlang audience ngayon.
At sa ating mga kasama at sa mga nanonood po sa amin, nagtsatsaga na magpupuyat. Magandang gabi po sa inyo at napakaganda ng ating pag-uusapan.
Ayun. So, Manong Arnold, kapag ba pinag-usapan ang dream house, di ba? Dream house. Ba, hindi ko ba lang nakalagay sa Twitter na 3 ang mansyon ko sa Pilipinas?
May pang-apat pa yun.
2 ang mansyon ko sa US.
Meron pa po isa pa yun.
Hindi nakalagay doon yung mansyon ko sa langit.
Yun po sa dito.
Oo.
In my father's house.
Are many mansions.
Many mansions.
If it were not so, I would have told you.
I go to prepare a place for
Ayun.
you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back again to
And receive you. That where I am.
Then you will be okay.
Ayun, yung mansion po sa langit at pinag-uusapan po natin dito. Mga kaibigan, pag pinag-uusapan po ang dream house, ano ba ang unang naiisip mo?
Bahay ko mo.
Bahay ko mo?
Ay, gusto kong bumalik doon.
Ganon?
Pabo.
Pero ako rin bahay ko mo. Pero gusto ko, pagpasok mo sa loob, wall-to-wall carpet.
Wow.
Air condition.
Double wall. Double wall.
Merong malaking LED monitor. Home theater, Bang & Olufsen. Tapos meron akong lazy boy. Uupo na lang ako dun sa lazy boy.
Tapos may taga-serve na.
May taga-serve, may ano kong butler. May taga-serve ko ano.
Butler. Ako na lang ang kampo.
Bigyan mo ko ng dream house, di ba?
Ako.
Okay. Para malaman pa natin ano ang mga dapat nating i-consider, mga kaibigan, kapag pinag-uusapan po natin ang dream home. Yan ang magiging topic natin ngayong gabi. Pero bago tayo magpatuloy, ay atin munang panoorin ang videong ito. Alam mo, ang misis ko mahilig yung bumili ng mga magazine galing sa States tungkol sa mga home, mga iba't ibang mga klase mga bahay.
Ngayon po ay matagal nang gawin ng bahay. Kasi bawat
Sa
section.
Amerika, madali lang. Sa Amerika, 60 days lang, mayroon ka ng bahay.
Hindi po, yung pagtayo. Pwede pagpili po bawat
Yung pagpili, okay namin.
namin po doon.
Saka meron ka mga kasama dyan, hindi lang ikaw mag-isa.
Ako.
Ito yan. Uy! Pastor Proby Cadileña, watching from Bacara, Ilocos Norte. Ang sabi naman ni Michael, my dream house is just simple, not so big. Yan. But full of love and good memories. Yung maganda. Rachel Ann, gandang gabi sa'yo ha. Watching from Singapore. Ngayon pong gabi mga kaibigan, meron tayong 2 guest na kasama.
Nice.
Oo. Isa po'y arkitekto, isa naman ay interior designer.
Wow.
Yan talaga ang nagpapaganda ng bahay. Oo ha. So bago natin ma-introduce ang 2 ito, mga kaibigan, 2 ladies. 2 ladies. Lapit yata mag-asawa itong mga tao.
That's nice.
Oo, bira.
Pinayagan niyo ba?
Okay.
Nagpaalam mo ba?
Eh, nagpaalam na sa akin sila, magiging magkatipan. Nagpaalam na ba kayo? Mag-asawa na? Hindi pa na. Ikaw nagpaalam mo na. Oh. So, bago po natin sila i-introduce, let's first define what is an architect and an interior designer. So according to an article entitled Architecture versus Interior Design, the main differences you need to know. Yun po yung title, ano ho. So while both of them are creative people, talagang dapat creative ka dito. Nangangarap ka talaga. Balagang creative ka. Oh. Their roles are quite different. Oh. Architects design buildings and structures and are trained to build them from scratch. They are more focused on the technical side of construction, like building materials, ventilation, climate, all of those things.
Noon po wala nun eh.
Ha?
Ang architect ang tatay, ang designer yung nanay.
Oo, totoo yan.
Ganun po noon eh. Ang
Oo.
nanay nagsasabi, ganito dito ganito dito At wala nang magawa si tatay. So on the other hand, interior designers design the interiors of the buildings.
Yan.
They fill up and furnish the empty interiors once a building is constructed. Tasks such as selecting materials, choosing color schemes, and refreshing wall designs fall within their scope.
Ayun. Oo. So, ito. So, given that their scopes are very different and they likely work hand in hand, ano po yung mga dahilan? Why kailangan natin itong dalawang ito? Kapag ating tinatrabaho ang ating dream home.
Alam niyo po, Your Honor, meron pong 5 reasons why you need an architect to build your dream home.
Ayun.
Meron pong 5. Una, they help you customize the house to fit your needs and lifestyle. Kaya meron po meeting muna yan, may discussion muna yan.
Oo.
So with the suggestions you have, they come up with designs and execute plans that perfectly depict your vision while also proposing a suggested layout for the best.
Yun.
Sasabihin niyo po yung gusto niyo. tapos-
Sila ang nagsasuggest. Oo. Ikaw ang nag-approve. Di ba?
Tapos kami magbabayad.
Oo. Hindi yung may-ari ng bayan ang sasuggest tapos ang nag-approve yung arkitekto. Hindi.
Number 2, they ensure that the structure fits into the area. They know the basics and complexities of designing your space while also efficiently working on the given space. So they plan and provide the unnoticeable and neglected details. The best use for entry or exit, parking space, landscapes, utilities, wiring, and electrical. May tanong po ko dyan.
Oo.
Paano yung mga nagpupusoy?
Ay, mga Chinese naman yun. Di ba? I mean,
Apo.
hindi naman tayo naniniwala doon. Di ba? So, in fact, yung nakita nila yung building na pinagawa ko, sabi sa akin, sinong punsoy? Ang galing. Sabi ko, hindi ako naniwala sa punsoy. Ako nagpunsoy. Oo. O, nakita ko yan. Oo. Pinattern ko yan. Yung building namin, pinattern ko yan sa temple ni Solomon. Na lahat napakaganda niyan. O ito rin dalawang ito, mga kaibigan, ang talagang tinap ko upang yung finishing po ng building. Pero yung arkitekto namin, talagang sinabi ko sa kanya, ito gusto ko. Ayoko na may wasted corners. Nais ko na lahat ng mga corner ginagagamit yan. Kaya dinisign niya, magaling mag-design. Magaling talaga. So yan ha, tinan nyo ha. Arnold. Ito pa. Number 3, they also make the most out of your materials. Ayun ha. Walang sayang. Hindi ka gagastos ng malaki. Yun ang kaibahan yan eh. They ascribe the value to which materials are chosen. They lead the discussion of the use of each material. So, number 4, they can get you the best value for your money.
Walang nasaya.
Ayun.
Sulit na sulit.
Totoo yan. Common myth about hiring architects is that it is costly and you may spend over the budget. Pero hindi po yun. We have to know that another significant role they play is to manage the project while keeping expenses within the budget.
Yun, maganda.
Sabihin mo ngayon yung budget mo. Papagawa ko ng bahay. O ito ang budget ko. 2,000.
Buhami pa.
Sabihin ng dalawa, uwi na ako kami. James Passion Sr. Kumusta na po ang poong Nazareno ng Ilocos Norte? Ayan. Maricris Canteras Santos, Sheng Layawin, na pambira. Si Sheng palagi nananalo yan doon sa ating contest. Kaya palagi nanonood to. Di ba? Oo.
For Singapore.
Ayan. At Singapore talaga niya. Marami pa ng mga ano. Oo. Marami nanonood sa atin ngayon.
Pastor Robbie po nandyan, no?
Oo nga. Kaya nabinati ko na siya. Oo, okay. So, ano ang huli?
Lastly po, they are your go-to project representative. They act as a representative and bridge between you and the contractor. They listen to you while providing options and suggestions to fit your desire to what will serve you best.
Ayun.
Maganda po yun eh.
Oo.
Yung magsasabi ka, pero sasabi lang, pero ganito po yan, you know, kung ganito po yan, ganito mangyari.
Oo.
Ang ganda po nun eh.
Ito yung gusto kong kulay. Sabihin nung interior designer, naku, hindi po yan bagay dun sa ano. Ano ang bagay? Di ba? Ano ang bagay? Mag-suggest po siya ng bagay. Mamimili ka nung sinasuggest niya. Ano ba rin? Oo. Di ba? Oo. Hindi ko lang alam kung kung sinasuggest nila na lagyan mo ng wallpaper yung bahay mo. Kasi ito bahay ko, walang wallpaper to eh.
Talagang paper.
Pumpinta yan, saka painting. Pinta yan, saka painting. Pero mga painting dito hindi ko na sabihin, baka mabas na naman ako. Anyway, mga kaibigan, it's always a question if there's a need for interior designer since they already have an architect. So, from the article, why an interior designer is essential to construction projects. Yan po mayroon ako nakita mga number of reasons para magkaroon ka ng gano'n. Una-una, they can ensure your plans are optimized for function. Meron pagkakataon, ang arkitekto, interior designer din yan. Di ba? O mamaya, ating tatanungin sila. So they focus on how the clients live in their own homes and how their furniture will be laid out. They consider things like door openings and door swings, built-in, cabinetry locations, electrical locations, kitchen and bathroom layouts, hallways, and more. Kaya alam nyo, madali na ngayon paggawa ng bahay. Especially mga condo, no? Kasi makakuha ka na talaga ng dalagang gawa ng kitchen. Isasalpak mo na lang. Oo. Kaya nga lang, medyo mahal yun. Di ba? Oo. Sino pa yan? Si Bernard Reyes from Winnipeg. Wow! Ethan Vargas. Magandang gabi sa'yo, Ethan, ha? Okay. Kay Benny pa rin. Sabihin, galing naman, no? James Todora. Ayun, architect students are watching this night live. Support talaga naman. Magbigaling pala sila. Ruel Burigas, magandang gabi po. Watching po from Saskatchewan, Canada. Alam mo si Bernard Reyes, ang anak niyan, ang kinukuha architecture sa Canada. Magaling, nakita ko na yung design niya, mahusay. Sabi ko, anyway, pag ako nagpagawa na isang building, ikaw naman, I want the design, sabi ko, sa anak ni Bernard Reyes. Oo. Si Lima Charlie, okay lang, maliit bahay as long as peaceful. Mind ko, maganda yun. Di ba? Walang luho at walang utang. Yun, maganda. Walang utang. Maganda. Hindi yung laki-laki ng bahay mo, puro utang ka. Paano ka makakatulog yan? Di ba? And mostly, I can glorify the Lord. Ay, maganda yun. Di ba? Ayan. Si Lario, listener ko pa yan sa DCME program. Kita mo, ha? Oo. Ayan. Yeah, yes po, Ethan Vargas, kay Honey Yul at Benny. Talaga naman, salamat ha. Oo. Si Ton naman, watching from Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi. Yan si Elton Bayani. Architect yan. Magaling yan. Magaling. Siya yung, di ba yung design ni Ayrton? Yung Angeles. Yung design niya, yung Angeles, yung Cavite namin. Si Ayrton nag-design yan, mga kaibigan. Ayan, yung bagong mga building. Kasama, si tatay nito, si Rick Malit, yan, kasama yung mga yan, design niya. Oo. Oh, Nonoy Nasyon, good evening po, BP. Saan ka, Nonoy? Nasa Albay ka ba ngayon? Nasa Pampanga ka? Okay, ito ha. Number 2, they can also save you time. Ibig sabihin, pwede mo gawin yung trabaho mo sa labas habang kanila iniisip kung design yan, no? Oo. By ensuring that the proposed design aligns across all parties. It's critical to ensure the proposed design aligns with site conditions, structural considerations, budgetary factors. Yun ang mahalaga eh, budgetary factors yan. Diba? Functional requirements, aesthetic, yun. Aesthetic preferences. Ganda. Kapag nakita mo itong bahay kong ito, makikita mo, ganda ng pagkakagawa nito. Ang pagkakadesign yan. Ganda. Pati yung mga painting ko dito. Huwag natin pag-usapan yun. Papaspa ko dito. Mahirap na yun. Ano pa? Ano pa? Ano pa?
Number 3, they can save you money
Yun.
and help you avoid costly mistakes. Napakahirap po yan. Iyari na, tapos may mali, tapos
Naku.
i-renovate ulit,
Naku.
iibain ulit.
Naku, uulitin mo na naman.
Ang sakit yan.
Naku.
Oh, involving them during the drawing phase helps reduce the number of revisions needed from the architect, reduce the number of changes to be submitted to the builder, and reduce the costly changes that can come up once construction is under.
Ayun.
Kasi kung minsan, ganito ang pananaw eh. Pero pag nando na, parang ayaw.
Oo.
Oo.
Yeah.
Eh, bayad ka. Pag ganun, bayad ka. So number 4, they can prevent many logistical headaches by making alternate suggestions or troubleshooting with the builder to find an affordable solution.
Ayun. Maganda po pala yan, mga kaibigan. No? Magaling.
Sasuggest.
Oo.
Ganito
Oo.
yun, ganito po yan. Ganito po sa panahon ngayon. Ito po pwede namin suggest sa inyo pag may bagyo.
Yes.
Ito yung pagtag-init. Ang dami yan. Ang dami angulo po yan.
Ito yan. O, yung pagkaminsan, saan mo gustong yung ano mo, kung nakaharap sa araw o nakatelkod sa araw.
Ang
Ano
sinasabi
yan?
nila palagi, yung paharap sa araw.
Oo, para sa araw. Oo. Ewan ko, gusto ko yung araw sa labas lang. Wala sa loob. Di ba? Mas maganda yun. Eleanor Acacio, na-imbag trabiyo amin. Oo. Nenet Untala, Nenet Villanueva. Nasa ano yan? Nasa Dubai ka, Nenet, no? Rolando Labini, kailan po next hearing ng Quadcom? Huwag kang magadala. Rolando, malapit na. Next week meron na. Pero ngayon, sa 17, yung palang Committee on Good Government, manood ka, maganda din yun. Okay? Ayan. Yun. Okay. Armando Garrido, ayan, taga-Leyte naman yan. Maupay nga gabi. Ayan, salamat. Tana pare. Bira. Yan ang ating customer palagi. Hindi na baling wag manood ang sino man, basta yung tara pare.
Andyan.
Kinakailan ano dyan?
At kailangan manalo.
Ano yun? Ayan.
Transmol.
Ang galing ni Trans Valley, talagang hinintay yung program ko. Ay, nako. Anyway, mga kaibigan, ngayong gabi, live po ito sa Alabang. Meron tayong 2 guests who will talk more about building and designing our dream home. Ang ating unang guest is a licensed architect who took Bachelor of Science and Architecture from Adams University and graduated in March 2015 as the top 1 academic scholar.
Wow.
She took her master's degree in architecture at Tsinghua University in Hsinchu, Taiwan, and graduated in June 2022 as an highest honor awardee and academic scholar.
Wow.
So aside from being an architect, she is currently a full-time instructor in the College of Architecture of Adams University an assistant professor in the Caliber Teacher of National University, Manila. Her architectural portfolio includes design, building, and even renovation of residential and commercial buildings, churches, townhouses, beach houses, farms, and resort. Oo, bata pa to, baka akala natin, parang dami-daming, matanda na ito. Bata po ito, dalaga po ito. Let's welcome Architect Roshila May Mali. Dan. Yan po, si Architect, ang pangalan mo?
Army po kasi,
Army Malit po yan. Okay.
Our next guest naman is a licensed interior designer who took a Bachelor of Science in Interior Design from University of the East and graduated in 2011. She has been a member of the Philippine Institute of Interior Designers since November 2011, and her career started as a design officer at SM Engineering Design and Development, handling renovation and new construction projects of Watson Philippines, Toy Kingdom, and SM Appliance Center. On top of this, she works on residential design of houses and condominium units and commercial design of retail stores, offices, hospitals, at iba pa.
Ayan.
She also worked as graphics and layout designer aside from being a freelance interior designer. So let's welcome interior designer Michelle Elizalde Batalier.
Ayan, Michelle Elizalde Batalier. Now, earlier, we discussed information based on online articles, no? But we will hear more from our guests. So we can start with our questions, no? As an introduction ngayon, mga kaibigan, to our viewers, can you share a quick journey, no, on why and how you became an architect and an interior designer? Simulan natin po kay Armin, na architect po siya. Go ahead.
Good evening po, Kong. Good evening po, Pastor. So, I grew up with my parents bringing me to some of their ongoing projects back then. So, I was also exposed to the industry at a young age since both of them were graduates of architecture. And then, na-inspired din po ako dun sa creativity nila, and then from blueprints, nakikita ko po ng actual execution.
Oo, pala, yun palang nanay niya, architect din. Oo.
Meron po akong narinig yan na kwento. Yung gusto ng nanay niya, maging architect yung anak niya. Kaya nung siya pregnant, wala siyang ginawa kundi magbisita siya ng mga building.
Aha.
Yun. Yung architect niya.
Talaga.
Oo. Ganun nangyari. So, since these courses need a license, is it still possible to do the practice even without a license? What will likely be the limitation of this?
Sa architecture po kasi, Pastor and Co, which is currently a 5-year undergraduate course, kapag po before sila mag-board exam, kailangan pa po nila ng 2-year diversified experience.
Oh, yun pala.
Apo. So, before licensure exam. So, dun po sa 2-year diversified experience, habang wala pa po silang license, pwede po silang mag-work as a renderer, a draftsman, or a junior designer, but under the provision of a licensed architect. So, ang limit po nila, hindi po sila allowed mag-sign and seal ng mga architectural documents po.
Oo, ganun pala yun.
Gaya rin po ng accountant. Kaya makapasa ka na sa board, 2 years ka pa, hindi pwedeng pumirma.
Meron silang sinusunod na Republic Act,
Yes,
9266, yung Architects Law of
Yes,
2004, di ba?
Apo.
Oo, yun yung, anong tag doon?
RA 9266 po, Architects Law of 2004.
Ayun, okay. Michelle, ikaw naman, anong masasabi mo?
In terms of interior design naman po, according to the Philippine Interior Design Act of 2012, which is an expansion of RA 8534 or the Interior Design Practice Law, an interior designer needs a license to be able to practice. This requires a degree in interior design and passing the Interior Design Licensure Examination conducted by the Professional Regulation Commission. Now, with the limitation, I'd like to quote the words of the late Sir Marcelo Alonso, former director of the professional practice of the PIID. If you have a natural talent for composing things, you are just considered as decorator. An interior designer goes beyond decoration. Professional interior designers address safety, materials, space planning, anthropometrics, which is the comparative study of human body measurements, and ergonomics, which is the application of anthropometric data to make an environment comfortable. That is
Talaga.
why we have those what we call interior decorators. Decorators' works are limited to enhancing appearance of a space through thoughtful selection of decorative elements. So more of aesthetics lang po sila. Unlike the interior designers who can work on the overall planning and functionality, creating comprehensive plans, making sure the space is both pleasing and practical.
Kaya pala kinakailangan pa talaga mag-aral ka na masusi niyan. Oo.
Malawak.
Malawak pala yan. Pero yung interior designer ba dapat maging arkitekto?
Hindi po, kasi magkaiba naman po ang scope.
Separate.
Pero anong course niyan? 4-year course niya pa yan?
Yes po, interior design.
Talaga interior design,
Yes,
no?
opo,
Talaga,
specific.
magbihira, no? Well, anyway, earlier we discussed the difference between architect, interior designer. So from your point of view, Army, is it best to get both, or can clients focus on getting an architect only?
I see.
And why?
Okay po. So in architecture po kasi, we do have 3 focuses. So we have the aesthetics, functionality, and strength of the structure. So for us, we build the whole structure or building, while the interior designer fills in the empty parts of the interior. So we also consider interior designers to be our allied design professionals. So in a team doing the design and construction, magkakasama po kami sa team namin. So as an architect, I do recommend my clients to hire an interior designer to enhance the aesthetics of their interiors, especially if they would like to build a certain ambience in their interiors, focusing on the soft touches and non-built-in aspects. So while as architects focus on the user's journey inside to outside of a building, we also do consider the building materials and ventilation, yung climate, saan po yung prevailing winds, saan po dapat lalagay yung bintana. Si interior designer naman po, they go into the details like deciding on the color palette or schemes, textures of material, types of furniture, and the like.
Ayun. Michelle, meron kang dadagdag sa sinabi niya?
To sum up po the answer of architect Roshila, it is, hindi po in my own opinion, but in a professional perspective, we both need po, because the architect takes charge po the structural integrity of the building, while the interior designer, from the term itself, takes care of the interiors of the building.
Okay. Talaga,
Dapat nag-blend yung dalawa.
Yes,
Yes
po.
po.
Teamwork
They
po
work hand
talaga.
in hand.
Tapos yung owner.
Yes po, with approval of
Ang bottom line, magkano?
Yun. Ito yun. Oo.
So based on your experience, what are the common misconceptions in your field of work? How do you debunk these misconceptions?
That's actually a nice question po. So the most common misconception in our industry sa architecture po is drawing lang yan. So what people need to realize that hiring professionals like us, architects and interior designers, is more like a good investment, especially if we're going to put the hard-earned money we got, di ba po ba? So each line we draw affects the end users. So without proper education and relevant experience, a client could suffer from the structure's overall outcome. During the 5-year course, a student goes through a lot of training, upskilling, and design exposure to hone and prepare them for the industry practice. So we also study several laws and codes tulad po ng PD 1096, BP 344, Accessibility Law, yung National Building Code of the Philippines, FAR Code, and we all bear that in our mind while doing those lines. So they're all very well thought of po.
Yun.
In interior design naman po, one common misconception is the lack of awareness with the difference between a decorator and a professional interior designer. I guess many would think that interior design is just about decor lang, and everybody with creativity can practice the profession. To shed light about this profession, interior designers had to study color theory, history of interior design, materials of building construction, building utilities, interior construction and detailing, and others. And they had to pass the interior design licensure examination that covers furniture design, construction, materials of of decoration, history of arts and interior design, and professional practice and ethics. And after that, we will need to have continuing professional development or CPD, just like any other professionals. And in line with that, another misconception is that interior design service is just a luxury or added feature, when in fact, it plays a vital role. Aside from making sure your space is in harmony from color palette to the patterns, it is also our job to make the space ergonomically sound, which makes it comfortable and effective for people who use it, which is the end users. Special space allocation and planning are fit to occupants' need and movement flow, considering accessibility or other conditions for occupants who are elderly, PWD. Kailangan po i-consider natin if we have occupants that uses wheelchair, if we have children, we would consider furniture na hindi sharp yung edges, and even pets in selection of our plants, kung fatal ba for our cats and dogs. And in general, the space would make the occupants first safe, and second, more productive and efficient, making their everyday lives better in their home.
Ganun pala
May tanong
yun.
ako.
Ganun
May
pala
tanong
yun.
Paano kung nandyan kayo, tapos ang kausap nyo doon sa gagawa, sa construction, merong experience at igigit yung experience sila kaysa doon sa natutunan nyo.
Actually, Pastor, na-experience ko na po yan. So, nung newly passed lang po ako na architect, madaming magki-question sa'yo. So, the reason why we do have this diversified experience is to not question kung may experience na kami. Kasi in the first place, bago po kami magpayagan mag-exam, nag-garner po kami ng diversified experience. And then another thing, yung final call po nun, we have the right to explain to the client what are the pros and cons of our recommendations, and then the client gets to decide as the final po.
Oh. So now, focusing on the actual work, mga kaibigan, no? So what is the information that the client needs to share prior to creating the design, no? Or kindly include essential questions so you ask to ensure that the design will be fit to their family.
Okay.
Family.
So,
Ayan.
Kong, upon first meeting po with the client, imbis na po sila yung nag-i-interview sa akin, ako po yung nag-i-interview sa kanila. So, baliktad. So, I always ask first what the project will be. Will it be a residential project, commercial, institutional? Kasi I have to portray the proper character of the building. So, after that, I will also ask them about the demographics, like how many persons po will use the structure, how many cars do we need to provide parking spaces for, do they have pets, and so on. So I also interview them about what their hobbies are. So may na-encounter po, for example, na client, yung buong ground floor po niya is dining at saka kitchen kasi food enthusiast silang mag-asawa. So we also do ask the areas that they'd like to be included in the design, ano yung nature ng work nila, ano po yung lifestyle nila, to know the project area requirements. So I also look for the TCT. Yan, madalas po nilalaglag nila yan. So later on na lang architect, ganyan. Pero sometimes it causes more problem kapag tapos na po. Malalaman na lang kapag building permit application na po. So I always look for that document po. And then a lot plan also needed, and much better if we could schedule an on-site ocular inspection to check the actual conditions of the site before proceeding with the schemes. And then lastly, yung pinaka-importante, I ask them about their budget. Since the design also considers the economical side of the project. Kasi I might have a high-end, very high-end in mind, pero ang budget pala niya is pang mid-end lang. So malaking problem po yun. So I ask them or recommend a certain finish, whether it be low, mid, or high-end, depending on what they can give out po.
Excuse me alam mo, meron akong alam binebenta na yung lupa. At kakausap na sila sa survey and everything.
Opo.
Only to find out na yung lupa palang binenta sa nila, doon nakatayo yung tangke ng tubig na subdivision.
Panghirap yan. Malaking problema po yun, Pastor.
Totoo ito. Oo, binili yung lupa, and then nung chinek nila doon sa may-ari ng subdivision, only to find out na yung lupa palang binenta sa kanila doon naitayo yung
Water
tangke ng ano.
Pwedeng i-demanda
Opo,
yung
pwede po.
subdivision niya.
Kaya nga po ang sabi ko, dapat kayo kukolekta ng tubig.
Oo.
Sa division.
So, Michelle, ano ang masasabi mo?
Some of the information needed from clients are, first, who are the principal occupants and who are their usual guests or friends. For example po, a public servant. Does he held meetings po sa bahay niya? So, we need to consider to have a space for holding the meeting. Or, mahilig ba mag-host ng party yung client? So, we have, like yung sa client ni architect, malaki yung dining. We also consider the age, gender, habits, and the level of need for privacy. So, age, kung may mga children po ba sila, or are they young couple, newly married, or starting out family. So, sa style and color preferences naman po, dito po pasok yung character ng mga occupants. And then, we also need to consider the furnishings to be retained or need to be accommodated in the redesigned space. For example po, yung existing house ni client is a heritage Filipino house. Hindi naman natin pwedeng pasukan ng mid-century modern furniture. So, we need to consider that. And these are some of the information which would give me the idea on how to work on their space. But another thing that I enjoy is sitting down with them, having lunch or dinner during our initial meetings. Kasi this actually gives me more than the details, but it makes me connect to them. And that's what I would always say to myself. It's like I'm becoming a family member, which helps me in planning their space better and more personal and more tailored to them. And it gives me idea to add something sa design because I think swak sa personality or sa interest ni clients. Or at the end of the day, it's great po na they would tell me na hindi ko naisip yung buti alam mo kung ano yung mga kailangan ko or pwede sa swak sa personality.
Okay, mga kaibigan. That's good. Salamat po sa mga anong yan, no? Ang galing, ha? Oo.
Siguro lumawak. Lumawak ang kalaman ko. Kasi ang alam ko dyan, yung mga design, titignan mo lang, pipili, ito lang, ito.
Opo.
It's more than that. Pati yung personality ng titira.
Yes
po.
Parang parang in-interview nyo na lahat eh. Tapos ipinasok nyo lahat doon sa programa nyo. So coming from the information shared by the client, how do you work on your design? What are the other things that you consider?
So, as for me, I consider the lifestyle of the client, as mentioned earlier po, especially for a residence project. So, it's very dear to the client to effectively integrate the personality of the owner to the design. So, hindi po kami as a professional yung mag-reflect. Dapat po yung personality ni client yung nakikita. So, I believe that there is no such thing as a template when it comes to design because everything has to be customized or tailor-fit to the actual end users. I also see to it that the client is involved in the decisions and I continuously seek for their approval from design to execution to build trust and ensure good communication.
Yun. Very good, ha? Michelle, ano ba?
We have what we call po the design process. So for programming, dito po inaalam namin yung ano po ba yung problem statement, ano po ba yung needs ni client. So as the information also that was stated earlier. And then after that, in concept development, ito yung nagbibigay ng PEG si client. So out of that, we translate it into visualization. So quick sketches, space allocation, and color scheme, and then we go to presentation, which is the scale furniture layout, mood board, perspective drawings, and rough estimates. And then later on, the final design and development, the execution, and the evaluation.
Meron ako kakilala ang pangalan niya ay si Violet. At pag pumunta ka sa bahay niya, lahat Violet.
Okay. Yun po
Sinasabi
yung
yung
team niya.
personality.
Opo.
Okay. Pagpunta ka sa bahay niya, lahat Violet. Kailangan mo madilim eh. Kasi lahat niya pa sa taga-Australia. Nasa Panginoon na siya ngayon.
Talaga. Nasa Panginoon siya, sa langit, walang bayo doon.
Wala po. Gold ang nakakawakan
Oo, okay. Meron ka ba tayo dyan?
Aside po from the technicalities that was mentioned earlier, this process I also use po yung connection na I made with them, giving their character doon sa space nila. So there's a balance of brain and heart, which is the technicality, and then the heart part is the connection with the client.
Talaga, magagaling itong mga to, no? Ha? O ito naman, no? Based on your experience, no? Tayong, ano na tayo dito, overtime. Pwede ba, okay, maganda itong pinag-uusapan natin, no? Ba? So ano yung mga challenges na nakikita niyo palagi sa mga kliyente niyo, sa mga projects niyo? So,
Apo.
how do you handle that?
Actually, ang pinakamalaking dilemma po for a project is yung release of funding or fees. Kasi marami pong variables, whether it be from the contractor side or the client side. Especially, there are times po na yung project budget hindi na po nasasabayan nung
Oo.
current construction prices na madali pong mag-fluctuate from time to time. Also, some projects also need a lot of attention to ensure that our workers on site stay true to the contract documents. Kasi kahit ano pong ganda ng design natin, if hindi naman po i-execute according to plan, mahirap na po. So we have to ensure na hindi po sila gumagamit ng substandard materials and hindi po poor yung execution ng work nila.
Lalo lang ngayon, mataas ang dolyar.
Kailangan binabantayan.
Opo, tama
Nagmamahal ang bakal.
Opo.
Actually kasi, imported halos lahat ang ginagamit
Yes.
natin dito.
Hindi lang po,
Steel.
hindi lang po mahal ang
Although mura ang hollow blocks, ginagawa lang yung kaisan.
Yung pong
Bakal po,
kadalasan sa
usually.
standard.
Well, hindi naman kinakailangan substandard yan. Talaga namang inano ng engineer yan kung ano talagang kinakailangan ng standard ng bakal na ginagamit.
Opo.
Yun ang maganda dyan. No? Yung aming building sa Santa Ana, kahit na 9 sa scale, tatayo yan.
We withstand.
Kasi talagang talagang matindi ang matindi ang matindi ang niyan, yung bang design, yung structural design niyan.
Yes
no?
po.
Oo, sila.
Except lang po sa anay.
Wala na yung anay.
Wala na wood
Tinanggal na namin lahat ng kahoy eh. Saka yung kahoy na nandyan, hindi pwedeng anayin.
Hardwood
Mabubungi
po
yung,
talaga.
mabubungi yung mangipin ng anay. Oo, totoo lang.
Yun po yung mga kahoy noon eh. Ganun katibibay yung mga kahoy noon eh.
Oo.
Ngayon wala na eh.
Oo, totoo yan. Oo.
So on the flip side, what do you enjoy most about your work?
Ako po kasi, I enjoy the fact that each client always gives me a new challenge.
Yeah.
So, kanya-kanyang personality, requirements, ganyan po. So, there is no formula in designing or template for it, so everything tends to be new and exciting. So, it also lets me get to places I have not been before. So, lalo po pag may mga projects na malalayo, kailangan ko po i-site visit. And then, I also get the chance to build a network with people I work with as well. Minsan, nagiging friend mo. Minsan, pang family mo na rin po, ganyan.
Tapos i-refer ka sa iba.
Yes, lalo na po yun.
Yung number one din.
Opo.
Siya ang design ng farm ko eh, yung mga bahay kubo ron, saka yung dila. Siya ang design nun.
Ganun ba?
Oo, siya ang
Opo.
design nun. Michelle, meron kang gusto sabihin?
Like I mentioned po, para every project that I handle, I became a part of a family. And dun sa mga project po na hinandle ko fully, na in-entrust sa akin ng clients, actually, I would tell myself na before this became their home, it was a home to me.
Yeah.
Yung everyday na pagpunta ko po doon, and most especially kapag medyo, na po siya, medyo buo na siya, medyo patapos na. So, I have this practice na I would practice dun sa bahay kung how the family dynamics would be. Kasi in that way, I could determine na kung may kulang pa or may dapat bang idagdag dun sa in line with their interests and with their needs.
Okay.
Parang simulation, no?
Yes, parang simulation na kung paano ba yung dynamics ng family, would it work dun sa space, something like that po. And so with that, parang their home has become my home for a while then. So I enjoyed that part, and I wish that they would more enjoy the home.
May
Yes.
attachment.
Yes.
Opo.
Siya nag-design ng condo namin.
Oh, see that?
So ano pa yung recommendation na pwede nyo bigay sa ating mga audience listener ngayon, ha? Oh.
So kami po as a professional architect, we enhance the user's experience in the building or structure. We're also trained to make all spaces economical and efficient. So sabi niyo po kung kanina, yung architect sa bahay niyo, di ba, ayaw niyo po nang may nasasayang na space. So lahat po kasi mina-maximize po natin. So we also ensure the proper execution from work, providing well-planned documents from start to finish of the construction. We get to train extra for the sustainability of the structures, whether it be on the operations and building materials. So kung ano man po yung naibayad, for example, na professional fees sa mga architects and interior designers, nababawi po yun in the long run on how you actually experience yung dinesign po namin.
Yan. O Michelle?
First and foremost, important po to seek professional help.
Yes.
You are building your dream home. Your home should not only be pleasing or aesthetic, it should provide security, comfort, and convenience to its occupants. It should complement your family's dynamics and lifestyle for everyday suitability on your daily activities. It should be efficient. It makes your daily life better. We would be in a lot of stress for the rest of the day, so make your home a safe space for you. Sabi nga, there's no place like home. Second, don't be afraid to add your personalities and design. It gives character to your house. Rather than a mere structure, it becomes a home. A dream home becoming reality.
Yun. Ang challenge talaga dito, sabi ni Rachel, number 1, budget. Totoo yan.
po yan.
Budget. Oo, di ba?
Pagka ongoing na yung building, ako, ayan na.
Opo.
Oo, yung presyo nung...
Dahil saka sa akin, yung bang, for example, like, meron kang 50 million, na kailangan na magkaroon ka ng 30% na, na costing yan, na
Yes.
sobra.
Opo.
No? Kasi hindi mo alam kung kailan magtataas ang
Totoo
skill,
po.
kailan magtataas ang mga to, o ano idadagdag mo, di ba? Ganun yun eh. Kaya mahirap din, talagang matindi rin yan. Eh. O, tana pare, ikaw na lang mag-design? O, ano yan? Ha? Oo. Okay. So anyway, mga kaibigan, salamat po sa inyong panonood po sa amin. Palagay ko, marami po kayo natutunan ngayong gabing ito. No? At maraming salamat sa inyong dalawa.
Thank you.
Thank you po.
Nagpaunlak kayo na aming paanyaya na kahit gagabihin kayo pag-uwi. Andito ho kami at nais namin po na talagang malaman nyo. Halimbawa, for example, like hindi nyo magamit ang arkitekto o interior designer, at least may alam na ho kayo, di ba? Na magamit nyo. O kaya naman advice, di ba? Pwede rin kayo mag-advise, correct?
Consultancy po.
Yun, okay. So, anyway, mga kaibigan, salamat.
Back to you guys.
Brother Rudy Abrot, wala kang nakuha tama. Anyway, mga kaibigan, salamat po sa inyo. Ito po ang ating quote of the day. A house is made of walls and beams. A home is built with love and dreams. Ang galing naman $500. Anyway, mga kaibigan, salamat po sa inyo panonood muli. Sa ating mga guests, mga kaibigan, salamat po sa inyo. Thank you for watching and joining us. Don't forget to like and share Bene Abante and the BMA Chronicles Facebook pages. Subscribe din po kayo sa YouTube channel po ng Bene Abante. See you again next Monday for another interesting topic. Ito po ang BMA Chronicles, Late Night with Bene Abante. Good night to all of you. You say good night. Good night.
Good night.
Ayun, good night. O, come on.
Good night po.
Do not forget, except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain.
Ayun, oo. Alright, good night.
Thank you, ladies.
Bye-bye.
Thank you po.